Welcome to Face Off. We'll make a little detour to our topic today and bring you another topic, but it's slightly also linked to what we're discussing, if Nigeria is being demarcated or not. But again, let's look at the internal working system of the country, and this has to do with what constitutionally we are faced with as far as who should do the job, when, and how many of them should do the job. So we are looking now at, should Nigeria or should the president appoint 36 ministers? I have a lawyer to my right now who's joined us, Okpe Banwo, who believes that Nigeria or the president should not appoint 36 ministers. Hit the ground running for us.
Well, I think we've all been regaled with people insisting that because of Section 147.3, that Mr. President must appoint 36 ministers in the country. And I say, really, if you with the proper construction of the Constitution, Mr. President doesn't really have to appoint 36 ministers, because if you look at Section 147.1, that section comes before 147.3, and Section 147.1 says the number of ministers to be appointed shall be determined by the President. If the Constitution really needed 36 ministers to be appointed strictly, it would have said so. So if the president had the power to appoint the number of ministers in his government, it follows that it doesn't have to appoint 36. And in any case, Nigerians have been complaining, Nigerians have been saying, we don't have money, we don't need to have a bloated government. So why all the shout about 36 ministers?
Alesta is still with us. Alesta will want to respond to that.
Yeah, with due respect to my legal luminary here, I think that you know, the lawyers will always tell us certain things because one was read in conjunction to the other. Now, he has mentioned in the first section. The second section says every state should produce at least a minister. Now, the number that the president has likely to appoint is 36 plus. We have seen it in the order, the minimum, the number of the constitution asked him to do because of the taste of number they will have in this country is 36. Now, he can choose now to have 42, 48, 50, like the previous government, wasteful governments always have. I mean, there was a time we had 48 ministers. Last time we had 47, 46. So that is where
there a lacuna in that?
The laxity comes
provision?
in.
No,
but
no,
as far as the state representation is concerned, well, he is tied. I don't like it because, like you have rightly pointed out, the nation is going through terrible times, and most of the ministers, minister of state, minister of this, minister for this, minister for that. But even the president admitted that he has been tied to that minimum constitutional requirements.
No, it's not a minimum constitutional requirement. Like I said, I don't typically like to join issues with non-lawyers, but it's my friend. I'll join issues with him tonight. But what I'm trying to say,
you are learner.
What I'm trying to say is that everybody keeps focusing on Section 147.3, yes, which says in appointing ministers, it should appoint one from each state of the federation.
Exactly.
But Section 147.1 comes before that, yeah, which says he determines the number of ministers he's going to have. So if he determines I was going to have 25 or 26,
then he
obviously,
states will not get.
No, listen. Obviously, listen and get some legal knowledge here.
We have done legal before. We've done legal
but
before.
Obviously, if he chose to appoint only 26 ministers, it's obvious he will not be able to appoint one for each state of the federation.
Exactly.
So Section 147.3 will not come into place.
Exactly.
Okay, because if you look at most of those who are insisting that we must have 36 states are doing a strict interpretation of the law. And yet, when you look at Supreme Court rulings, in many cases at the Supreme Court, they said the Constitution should be interpreted liberally to give effect to the intention of the founding fathers.
Exactly.
But also Section 147.1 gives him the power to appoint the number of ministers he wants. So if he chose to appoint 22, that means, therefore, he will not be in a position to appoint one for each state.
That means he is going against the intentions of the founding fathers of the Constitution. Because if the founding fathers now thought it wise that because we have homogeneous, we have sectional interest and all what, which is represented by the various states that we have. And the founding fathers now thought it wise that for you to create equity, justice, fairness, that more must come from each state.
The Constitution did not use the word must. It used the word shall, which could be interpreted as
shall.
In any case, everything
in common English,
gets
shall
is
binding.
I have
gets
a
its
part of the
connotation
Constitution that
from
is
in
147
common English,
section
shall
15
means
pre.
binding.
No,
I have,
not
sorry,
necessarily.
sorry,
Common
guys.
English.
I have a section of the Constitution that interests me. Let's look at section 5.1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I like reading this. Provides that subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the executive powers of the Federation shall be vested in the President and may subject as aforesaid and to the provisions of any law made by the National Assembly be exercised by him directly or through the Vice President and Minister of the Government of the Federation or officers in public service of the Federation. How do we interpret this?
Basically, the executive powers is vested in Mr. President, who determines the number of ministers.
Determine whether to go against the Constitution.
It's not against the Constitution.
We should uphold the Constitution.
You keep seeing it as being against.
How should we
that
say it?
section 147.3 is related to section 147.2. Okay, which means if once the ministers are appointed, all right, are confirmed by the Senate, then he needs to appoint one from each state of the Federation. Agreed.
Good.
But if he himself, in furtherance of his powers under section 147.1, chose not to appoint 36 ministers, then he won't need.
Then the spirit and the letters,
No.
as you have said,
the spirit of
the Supreme Court has
yes, now in case of Gaba's case, Ishakura case,
Which state should be left out?
been breached. So which
it's
state
not
will be
about which
left
state should
out?
be left at section 14.3. Talks about federal character.
Good.
The intention of the founding fathers is that we should every area of the country we should have a
broad-based
governance.
Yes.
All right. But are you telling me that the 36 states will take care of all the divergent tribes we have?
It cannot.
It cannot.
But
So
of
why are
course,
you insisting on 36?
No, but I mean,
when the country cannot afford 36,
the
when
founding
the country
fathers,
is broke,
the founding fathers
when
and
the
the
president
spirit,
says, I don't need
and the
36.
spirit, and the spirit has made it complete for him.
What
because
spirit
he
now?
will
Is
now
it
go
evil
against the
spirit or good
Constitution.
spirit?
No,
Which spirit are we talking about?
Of the founding fathers.
The spirit of good
of
governance.
the founding fathers.
Which founding fathers?
Of the founding fathers that had an intention that we should have an all-inclusive government.
Which founding fathers wrote the 1999 Constitution? Is it not the military?
No matter the
Are they the
people
founders
that
of
they
this
are the
country?
founding fathers.
Which
At
founding
that time, they were the rulers.
They are members of the
They are Nigerians.
State Council.
No, they are
Yes,
Nigerians.
they are
Yes,
State Council with them.
They are Nigerians.
who took powers by force.
It doesn't
So,
matter.
but the point
They are
I'm
Nigerians.
saying is that we need to do things in moderation.
Good.
Right now, price of oil is about one third of what it used to be.
Exactly.
We don't have the money to run such a global.
I agree with you.
So
I agree
why
with
are
you.
we why are we
If you
shouting
want to
this?
come down from
We
48,
should go to
you want
efficiency.
to come down from 48 in the last government.
Yes.
From 48, sometimes you go to 50
Yes.
because when you add all the other persons, and the man is now restricted to 36. I think if he had the leeway, I'm sure he would want to do with 25 or even 20. But unfortunately, he doesn't have the leeway. So let us even sympathize with him.
He just basically allowed himself to be pressured
let us
by the political
sympathize
class.
with him. Let us
He
sympathize
could have-
with him.
Yes,
And
he could have,
see.
yes, fair enough. He could have appointed 20 and it will still be within the letters of the law because the three sections.
Which states will be excluded?
There
So
are
when
the
you say
bad
excluded, you keep talking as if this has to.
There
are the bad bellies of this country. There are those that they never wish well of this
speaking like an
president.
educated man.
They never wish well of this president that will challenge him before the Senate, before that, and degrade him from a minor thing. So now he has found a way out. The way out is that, yes, the Constitution says I must appoint 36. Now I can appoint you, put you in the council without job for you. You are sitting in the council.
And then that is the part. That is the part that actually upset me.
Which is even better.
If Mr. President,
Office
this
without
is
portfolio.
Yes,
We can be sent for
every football team.
Well, if there's a
football
dilemma
team.
crisis somewhere,
There
we can be sent as a
in the football
It does
team.
not make sense
There are
to go and
11 in the
appoint-
field. There are 11 in the field. There are 5 reserves.
Is that
All
bad?
the
Yes.
reserves will get their match bonus.
Yes, but we
you
are
see,
talking
the
about we don't have
activity-
money.
No, the activity.
So you appoint ministers.
No, the
and you will
activity
not-
now.
You will not maximize
None
them.
is efficiency.
That doesn't make sense.
You can bring in
as long
ideas.
as they are appointed, they
No,
must
you
as
see,
well be
you
given
can
portfolios.
bring in ideas.
You can send them
If you
messages.
don't have if you don't have a ministry, you won't have a PA, you have a PPA, you have an SA,
Oh, really?
SSA. At
Really?
least you will
Really?
be there. So those
Really?
costs are saved.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
No, now, if a minister goes on leave or part of the defense is leaking, he can change you and bring you in. But you see, the unfortunate thing is that we are in a dire situation, and the president is genuinely and bringing some level of genuineness, because this is the only president in the history of Nigeria that wanted this job. Most other presidency, they were courted into this job. This president wants this job, and he has a focus for the country. He has a plan for the country. He is deeply touched about the way the country is being run. So he wanted this
What
job
do you mean,
at all
Zelo?
costs.
What
And
do you
that is
mean,
why,
I wanted the job?
because he's the one that went
Some
all
actually took
out.
it with gun, and you're
Wait,
telling
no,
me they don't want the
went
job.
all
Some
out.
shot people to get into
They didn't know.
office.
No, they were not prepared for it. This man is prepared. He has gone through the mills. He has gone through the system. He understands the system. So therefore,
enough,
he's
fair
now
enough.
in being able to establish the constitutional requirement. He's looking for genuine ways
Okay.
so that this thing can be.
Gentlemen,
gentlemen, can go on.
These
so that no one will
issues always
distract
get very inexhaustible, and I just enjoy listening to some of you and some of the opinions you have to raise. But again, time.
Yes.
Time and time and time.
Yes.
A lot of things may not happen anymore if we go this direction because something has been thrown up. Necessities of Section 147 right now, all of that is being thrown up. It means that those suggesting for regional kind of governance, that cannot happen anymore. That has to be petition. In some 20 seconds, if he can appoint 36 ministers, how does he go?
Well, he already appointed 36 ministers. That is why I even feel that even this debate is really, we are just having an intellectual debate at this point. Mr. President has appointed 36 ministers.
He can send them back home.
So all
can send them back home.
that we should be thinking and praying for right now is for those people that Mr. President has appointed to do a great job of salvaging our country. He has a dream team. I keep calling them a dream team. People laugh. That team of 36 people, they are a dream team. They will do justice to the governance of this country, and all we can do is support them.
He doesn't have to appoint 36.
No, he doesn't have to. I've already said that, but he already did. So we don't have to keep quibbling over that. I've said by virtue of Section 147(1), an interpretation of the Constitution which is supposed to be liberal, going by the case of Garba, Ishaq Rabiu, and some of the other cases, he didn't have to appoint 36, but he has gone ahead and done it. So we might as well live with it.
For me, what I want to align with my brother to a large extent.
I'm not your brother.
He has okay. my educated brother. My educated brother. To a large extent. I think the truth of the matter is he has found some genuine ways, very ingenious ways to resolve those issues. Now, like he called, they are dream teams, and they are persons of proven high standard and quality, persons who have performed in various assignments they've been given to, and so they have it. Now they should know that if there are reserves in the bench.
We are going to have
so the
ministers,
moment you are out,
I'm going to sign out. We're going to have ministers. We're going to have ministers without portfolio, obviously,
yes,
because
exactly.
the president is not interested in running the 36-man team
at all.
So we leave it at that for this week's Face Off. Join us again next week. Good night and God bless you.